name's Ryan, and this is my 1955 Chevy truck project. Arguably one of the greatest trucks ever built. Looks wise, look at that cab. Absolutely beautiful. I've made a lot of progress on this thing, and I know it's kind of late in the game to start recording videos of it, but I wish I would have from the get-go, kind of document all the things I've done. As you can see, it's not complete. I got a long way to go, and I'm hoping this YouTube thing gives me some motivation to finish this. It hasn't really been the biggest priority, I'm a homeowner, I got other projects, I got a lot of other projects, but I think I want to make this thing a priority this year and get it done. I'll probably add some pictures of progress I've made and things that I've done. It's a 55 Chevy truck. It has a 454 big block Chevy in it, a SM 465. I don't know if you call them a 3-speed or a 4-speed. I don't know. It's got 4 gears, but it's low, first, second, third. And an NP 205, a 14 bolt, and I have a Dana 60 for the front. I'd probably be done with this thing by now, but I ended up changing a lot of stuff, undoing things that I had already done, which is the worst. I had a step side bed for it and just a single rear wheel 10 bolt. And I'm pretty sure the big block would have just grenaded that thing. So I bought a parts truck, and that is where I got the transmission, the transfer case, and the axles. And that truck was a flatbed, and I just couldn't stop thinking about putting a flatbed on this. I know some people just make a flatbed and it just looks chintzy. I wanted something that looked unique, that was really usable, because I currently don't have a truck. I really wish I did, because hooking a trailer up to go do anything is kind of annoying. I want something that I could just go use, haul stuff, and I wanted something capable. You can see I have the gooseneck hitch. It's got basically a 1-ton running gear. It should be a pretty awesome truck. I've got a lot of custom things done to it already. I'll walk you guys around and kind of show you things that I've done. So this is when I first picked up the truck. You can see it's sitting on the square body frame. That's the first building of the frame. You got both axles under it. A couple cross members. Had the cab mounted and the front clip mocked up. The cab's mounted, fixing all the rust. This is me working on the firewall. You can see this is the wheelbarrow that I use for it. Looks pretty slick. Working on the firewall. Mocking up the engine for the first time. Making mounts for it. Looks pretty slick with the wheelbarrow. Mounting the bed for the first time. Kind of getting the whole thing mocked up so I know the frame is going to work. Here's a seat mount. I got some King Ranch Ford seats for it, really nice. This is the parts truck I got. It ran, had a rod knock. Here's the frame, complete. This is me painting the frame, getting creative with the engine hoist. This is me going through the engine. Turns out that it had a, flattened cam lobe, bad lifter, professional engine shop, rebuild with the old dingleberry. This is putting it back together. You can see it has different pistons. It's got, people call them pop-up pistons, so it should have a little bit higher compression ratio than stock. This is me firing up the engine for the first time. You can see a big smile on my face. I was pretty happy. This definitely healthy. You see the frame shakes every time I blip the throttle. So it should be more than enough for what I'm going to be using the truck for. I'm not going to be drag racing it or anything. I'm going to actually be using it. This is that parts truck, cutting it up. That's going back and putting the 4-speed in it instead of the Turbo 400. Here's the bottom of the cab, all done. Putting the cab on with the old engine hoist. Undoing the spring hangers so I could put the dually in it. So now the dually's mounted up, and hopefully that's everything I'm undoing and redoing to the frame and should be up to speed. Okay, so I'll just do a walkthrough of progress that I've made so far. Like I said, I built the frame from scratch. It's just a 2x4 rectangular tubing. I got my core support mounts figured out, steering's figured out, bumper mounts. That's actually out of a Jeep Liberty, totally random, but it works. These are the stock CJ7 rear leaf springs from my Jeep because I put lift springs on it, so I still had these and they work fine, so that's what I used. This is a Dana 44. I have a Kingpin Dana 60 for it, a little beefier. It's a 454, it's already running, it's got a cam and pistons in it. Should be pretty healthy. I got all the rust repair on the bottom of the cab done. I got the firewall done, and you can see it's all painted underneath. That way I don't have to pick the cab up or tape stuff off and get it done. Which, when I first got the truck, I'm like, man, I think I'm gonna stick with orange. You can see this on its own looked really orange, but next to this, it looks red. This is Rust-Oleum Safety Orange, the orangest of all oranges. I like it. It's cheap paint, works good. That's what I'm going with. You can see it up there. Boop. I think you can get a gallon of it for like $50. It works. Yeah, I got my shock mounts done. The engine's mounted. These are the only original piece off of the 55 truck frame. Well, actually, when I bought this truck, it was sitting on a square body frame, and somebody had those just bolted to the square body frame, and turns out those are for a 55, so I reused those. They were in good shape. The square body frame wasn't going to work. Somebody had shortened it, and it was crooked, and it just wasn't right. So that's why I made a whole new frame. So as you can see, I got the bottom of the cab is all done, painted, looks nice. It's got new steps, new cab corners on both sides. And the frame is done. Hopefully I don't change anything. You can see this is where I had the original trans mount for the Turbo 400, but when I decided to change to the 4-speed, I ended up adding this frame stiffener, I guess you can call it, and it also acted as my transmission mount. I got a transfer case mount on it. It's looking pretty good so far. Oh yeah, the whole reason I bought that other parts truck was for this transfer case, because it's kind of a rare one. It's a NP205, which is not that rare, but it has the round bolt pattern, so it bolted up to the Turbo 400. Because I had just an aluminum one with the slip yoke, and that's not going to work for what I'm doing because it's kind of a short drive shaft, and it's kind of at an extreme angle, so you don't really want a slip yoke for that. You want the regular yoke. I'm not sure if I'm going to have to do like the double cardan like I have on my Jeep, but I'm not going to worry about that until the entire truck's done and all the weight is on, so I can figure out the pinion angles, because I'll most likely have to cut those leaf spring perches off, re-weld them, and then I got my shock mounts. I got to weld to the axle still, so that'll probably be one of the last things I do. But yeah, it's looking good under here. I'm really happy with how it's coming along. Here's the inside of the cab. Got most of the floors done, and it's just primered. I still gotta grind that, bodywork it so it looks nice, because I had to cut the hole for the 4-speed because it's a little taller than the Turbo 400. That's for the steering column comes out. I got the mounts figured out for that. There's my clutch pedal mount, brake booster. The only real rust that was on the inside of the cab was right up here. I had to cut that out. Kind of a really tough patch to make, you know, because it's a compound curve. It curves this way and it also curves this way. I ended up using the bead roller and I put a bead in it, and that naturally curved it this way and this way, so it worked out pretty good because I don't have an English wheel or a planishing hammer or anything like that. You know, the inside of the cab is pretty solid. Yeah, just gotta clean this up, paint it. You know, it's got new steps. Pretty good, pretty solid. I just love this cab. Look at this shape right here is just, oof, just, you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? So much curves. Beautiful. So, kind of a side profile. I really hate when you look at a truck and you can see stuff hanging below it, so that's why I really worked hard on getting the motor tucked up and back as far as I can, because when you look at the side of a truck and you see the transfer case and stuff, or when people put body lifts on trucks, ugh, that's horrible. Don't ever do that. So this is the flatbed I'm working on. You can see it's coming along. This is actually the shape of the step side fender. I traced it out and cut that out. Those are old locker doors, totally rad. I bought those lockers and the guy gave me some extra doors, so I'm like, man, that's like the perfect shape. It's got the cool louvers in it, kind of fits the theme of the truck. I actually think the lockers are probably from the same era. Still got to figure out the latch system. But I wanted to get at least one toolbox done as kind of like a proof of concept before I go on. Yeah, I got the sheet metal done. Got a nice little bead roll in there, which, you know, adds a ton of strength, and it looks fucking sick. You know what I'm saying? I got the frame done over here. I'm out of sheet metal. I need to go get some more. Yeah, so I got the frame pretty much done. Oh, this is another thing. I left these rails open, you know, kind of give you an idea, so you can slide stuff in. Also, if your grandpa has a reed vise in his garage, make sure it's in the wheel for you, because these things are awesome. Anyways, I left this open. This is 2x2 1/8" wall tubing, and 1 3/4" tubing does fit inside. There is kind of a nice little lip there. I haven't really figured out a good way to get rid of that. So what I ended up doing was just cutting like a little notch in the bottom of this tube, and this slides in and out. I got an idea. I'm gonna do a load extender as well. So if I want to haul something long, I can just pull it out. You know, it'll go boop, boop, boop. Yeah, I still got to do the frame for the toolboxes on this side. And I still haven't cut out the openings. Also, you know, this edge is nice and rolled. I still have to hammer and dolly this. It's a little rough still, but I just I cut it out, marked a 1/2" lip to bend in, and I literally used a pair of lineman pliers and just bent it in, and then take a hammer and dolly and smooth it out, which I still haven't done yet. You can see it's kind of a little rough, but it's looking good. Got to finish the frame for the toolbox on this side. like I said, I need more metal for that. But yeah, this flatbed is looking pretty cool. I'm gonna do a cool headache rack. Probably gonna use the embossed letters on this tailgate, cut it out, and it'll be basically right there on the cab. It'll say Chevrolet. That's my idea. Yeah, so this is just me kind of showing you all the stuff I've done. So if you're a fan of this project and the direction that it's heading, I'll keep making videos about it. And the next video I make, after I figure out how to edit this stuff, and I've never done this, so I'll learn as we go. But the next video will be actually fabricating. I need to finish these toolboxes, and then the headache rack, put the plate on, make my load extender, do the taillights. Got a lot of work left. So maybe I'll put it all in the next video. I'm sure people who fabricate know that it takes a lot of time to do this kind of stuff. So I'm sure they'll understand. And as you can see, I don't really have a big shop or any fancy tools. This is a one-car garage, and I got some nice tools, but most of it's, Harbor Freight stuff. So hopefully the DIYers can relate to this, and maybe I can motivate some of you guys to start fabricating, which is cool, because it's kind of I wouldn't say it's a dying art, but it's kind of a niche thing. Especially doing custom stuff, because it takes like a little bit of creativity, a little bit of practical know-how. So if you're a fan of this, keep watching. I got some different techniques that I'll be using on this bed: bead rolling, sheet metal work, doing structural stuff like this. So yeah, stick along. You might like it, you might not. I guess we'll find out. And if you're here from my little brother's channel, shout out to him. He's Brett07K on YouTube. If you're into like European cars, I guess is kind of his niche. He likes Volkswagens. And yeah, so, and if you want a palate cleanse from, that just stuff, you can watch me make this really cool American truck awesome. So yeah, tag along.